Bob Weep Grana, Weep Ninny Bum. We're back with a brand new video, and per usual, I am in the four-wheel studio, aka my car. So if you experience any audio variants outside of what is becoming less typical quality, please attribute it to that. So with that being said, let's dive into today's topic. So I came across this while I was doing my news scroll in the morning, and it was some comments from Jeff Teague. I believe it was from his podcast, which, by the way, if you've seen some of the clips, is actually pretty funny, but I digress. The subject of LeBron James Jr. came up, and Jeff Teague, though he said some wild things on his podcast over the time, gave his take on it. And I thought it was kind of, and this is sad to say in this day and age, it was refreshing to hear what seemed like a really honest, objective take on his game and what he thought of him as a player, not a person. Because people tend to conflate those two things. When you talk about one, you're talking about the other, and that's certainly not the case. But him as a player. And so, wanted to let you hear what Mr. Teague had to say, and then I'll be back on the other side with my reaction and my take on what he had to say. So, without any further ado, here is Jeff Teague.
I ain't hating.
Shout out to my nigga.
I swear to God, I'm not hating. I don't care about Bronny and LeBron. Play the game. Do whatever y'all want.
Yeah.
I hope Bryce make it to the league too. But honestly, when I watch the game, I just don't think he that nice at basketball. Like,
that's a real opinion.
I'm not hating, but I just don't think. I be like, bro, I don't see it. Like when I watched USC last year, I know he was hurt. He got hurt, serious injury or whatever. But I'm just like, nah. Like, nah, I don't see it. Preseason, I'm like, I don't see it. Like, connect, I see it. I be like, yeah, nigga, who?
If they got the same amount of time in the game, who scored more points, Bronny or Ben Simmons?
It's Bronny.
Ben Simmons are awesome.
He chilling, bro.
He was a max player, bro. It ain't even. I ain't hating.
Shout out to my nigga.
I swear to God, I'm not hating. I don't care about Bronny.
So there you have it, the comments from Jeff Teague, and I know that the La Media and their associated La sycophants, if they hadn't already got wind of this, which I'm sure they had, they hadn't come after Jeff Teague yet. I'm sure they will, which that in and of itself speaks to a larger problem in sports and society. If you don't agree with me, I have to go after you, blah, blah, blah. But honestly, he just said what a lot of us have been thinking, have said, and if you watch the games, it's plainly obvious. As the sample size grows, it's clear that this kid is just not NBA caliber. He's not an NBA talent. And the crazy thing is it's considered controversial or hating for pointing that out. And let me jump on this tangent really quick, where anytime somebody says something that you don't agree with about somebody that you like, it's always objective and telling it like it is till it touches your favorite player, a different team. Then it becomes hating. Just because you don't like it, it's a tired and highly phallic, for lack of shaming tactic, to try to get people to agree with you. And it's not hating to point out the facts that when you watch him, it becomes painfully and plainly obvious that the young brother just doesn't have it. And it's not hating to say that. It's not rooting on his downfall. It's just pointing out what we see on the court. What happens when he plays the game of basketball. Unfortunately, as it relates to other people in the NBA, he's not that good. And to say that, because I hear these is wishing hate on the man, is wishing harm on him. No, I'll give you an example of what's hating harm is when Travis Hunter chose to go to chose Jackson State over Florida State, and Florida State fans, or the Florida State clan base, as I called them at that time, was wishing, literally wishing harm, wishing him to get hurt, wishing bad things to happen to him. That's wishing harm, and that's hating. Okay? So I just needed to point that out. But Jeff Teague is right. I mean, even when you look at his I'm sorry, I still call it the D-League because it just makes sense. But when you look at his debut, I mean, 6 points. Meanwhile, Quincy Oliveira was balling, had 28 points. I mean, the difference is evident. And it's, you're not being spiteful to point that out. And I've said it on other videos, and I know that other far better and content creators with a far larger reach than I have said something similar. But I feel bad for young James. I really do. Because his career, his dreams and whatever has been sacrificed on the altar of his father's legacy. And you could even make the argument that he's kind of, in some ways, when he made those comments, well, he's a grown man, he can answer for himself. Well, no, they're asking you. Because what we do know, LeBron James, is that you were the driving force behind making this happen. So you don't get to run away now when it looks like it ain't sweet no more. You don't get to do that. But, the proverbial, the embodiment of throwing a rock and hiding your hands. But no, getting back to this, Jeff Teague is not wrong, man. He's not good at basketball, at least as it relates to other professional athletes. And it's not crazy. It's not wrong to say that. And, people try to come up with ways and conjure up things to make him good, things he can work on. I don't know. At the time, I'd said, it's like was it Fran Fraschilla, the Bruno Caboclo line at the draft. He's 2 years away from being 2 years away. But the more I watch, I'm starting to see that might be a best case scenario, him being 2 years away from being 2 years away. But no, man, I'm sorry, and it's not a situation, again, where you're wishing something bad on. This is just objective basketball analysis. When you bring up the fact that in the preseason, most of his stats, his statistical production was at or near the bottom of the league. And the thing about it is this, and I knew it would only get worse. It would become more evident when the regular season started, because at least in the preseason, at least by and large, you're not playing against those teams' best players. So when the regular season would start, and you would, that gap, that would become a gulf, and it would really be obvious that this kid doesn't have it. And so, it's sad I didn't have to say this, but kudos, at least on this, for Jeff Teague for speaking out and saying what should be obvious to anyone with basketball brain one. And I know the LeBron cabal, the sycophants, the media are upset, but this is just what it is. And no matter how much lipstick you put on this pig, it is still a pork sandwich, any way you slice it. So I don't think I need to belabor this point any longer. I don't need to go on for 10, 15 minutes. That's all I got for this video. So with that being said, I thank you for spending a few moments with me, and I'll be back with more videos real soon. And as always, take care, and make sure you tell the ones that you love them. Peace.